You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, naturally, there I go rising.
Caribbean Kitchen Foods offer 7 unique blends of premium, low-sodium Jamaican seasoning that will add a burst of flavor to your dishes. Our authentic, all-natural Jamaican seasonings are a game changer when it comes to adding a burst of flavor to your dishes. Our products are kosher, all-natural, contains ingredients that are gluten-free and GMO-free. Our seasonings are handcrafted with the highest quality ingredients. We source our ingredients from the Caribbean to capture the authentic taste of the islands. Unleash your creativity in the kitchen and savor the taste of the Caribbean with our spice blends. Enjoy our variety of seasonings that are flavor-packed to deliver the best taste for your dishes. Get ready to create delicious meals that will excite your taste buds and leave your guests asking for more. Try our exclusive curry and jerk seasonings for an extraordinary cooking experience. Our blends are an excellent choice for chicken, meat, fish, and vegan dishes. Add a burst of flavor to your cooking with our top quality Jamaican seasonings. Grab one of our bundles and enjoy the taste of the islands.
Shalom family, viewer update. The Benaiah Israel channel is moving over to Rumble. Please join us over on our new platform. You can find a link in the description to our new Rumble channel called Hidden Hebrews. Hope to see you there, family. Shalom. Judah has fallen. All seem lost. Or so it seemed. The children of Judah had indeed been sent into slavery and sent to the shores of West Africa, as the following reference reads. And it reads, large numbers of Jews were expelled from Portugal and taken to the coast of southern Guinea, which is the coast of West Africa. And let's not forget that these Jews were indeed called Black or Negro Portuguese, as the following reference reads. And it reads, King John II in 1492 expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas, which had been discovered in 1471, into other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. And from these banished Jews, the Black Portuguese, or the Negro Portugues, as they are called. And once placed on the west coast of Africa, these Negro Portuguese were sold into slavery, where it reads, during the flourishing days of the slave trade, from 16 to 18,000 were annually transported from Judah, as the Portuguese called this place. Once placed on the west coast of Africa, these Negro Portuguese were sold into slavery. As the reference reads, it reads that the said king sold all those Jews for slaves. But why? And how did this happen? How did the children of Judah fall so low? To answer this question, we need to go back to the beginning of the conquest of Spain and Portugal by the Moors and the Jews in 711 AD. When the Jews and Moors swept through the Iberian Peninsula, defeating the Goths, with their victory, the Moors and Jews ruled the Iberian Peninsula for almost 800 years. The Jews enjoyed peace and prosperity as they followed the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High YAH. That is, until someone showed up with a new doctrine.
Congratulations on your victory. And now, let me teach you about the Talmud. Let me teach you how to worship Hashem, my brother.
Who was this shadowy figure pushing the doctrine of the Talmud? Well, who teaches the doctrine of the Talmud today? And it reads, the Talmud, however, was so little known in Spain that they were obliged to send deputies to the Babylonian academies to decide the disputes which rose among them. Yahshua warned of this doctrine of men, which if followed would cause Judah to turn away from the Most High YAH's laws. And unfortunately, Judah took the bait. They began following the Talmud in Spain and Portugal. This would soon lead to Judah's demise. And it reads, and he said unto them, in full well you reject the commandment of Yah, that you may keep your own tradition. The interval of tranquility which the Jews enjoyed was about the middle of the 11th century, disturbed by an unfortunate event.
Joseph Halalevi, a learned and zealous rabbi, assisted by the Arabic version of the Talmud. The Jews began to be persecuted by the Moors and eventually persecuted by the church. Now keep in mind that the church during this time isn't the church or assembly found in the Bible or in the New Testament. This was a new Gentile-led church. What is a Hebrew Israelite? Hebrew Israelites are the Most High YAH's chosen, set-apart people. We are descended from Noah's son, Shem. Our forefathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was later changed to Yisrael. And Jacob had 12 sons, who later fathered the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 sons are known as Benjamin, Joseph, Naphtali, Asher, Gad, Dan, Issachar, Zebulun, Judah, Levi, Simeon, and Reuben. Now, let's review a few notable Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, such as King Saul and the Apostle Paul, Joseph and Samson, Aaron and Moses, King David and King Solomon, and of course, our Messiah, Yahshua HaMashiach, along with the 12 apostles, which made up the leadership of the church throughout the entire New Testament. They were all Hebrews, all Israelites. And regarding Yahshua, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14 reads, "For it is evident that our Hamashiach, our Messiah, sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moshe spake nothing concerning the priesthood." Again, from Yahshua to the apostles, they were all Hebrews. They were all Israelites. In fact, throughout the entire New Testament, the leadership team, the head leadership team of the church consisted solely of Hebrews and of Israelites. It wasn't until the 4th century when the leadership team of the church changed dramatically to something never before seen in both the Old or New Testament. In the 4th century, after the death of the Messiah, we have a Roman emperor, Emperor Constantine, become the head or the leadership of the church. For the first time ever, we have a Roman Gentile seated at the head of the church, along with Roman bishops. We also see similar setup in the modern day churches. Modern day churches recognize Roman Gentile church fathers, such as Martin Luther or John Calvin. This too deviates from the church leadership seen in the New Testament, which was all Hebrews, all Israelites. Once in power, we see these two Roman Gentile-led churches openly persecute the Hebrews and the Israelites. In other words, after the Roman Gentiles took over the leadership of the church, the Roman Gentile-led church openly persecuted and enslaved and killed the children of Israel. The Roman Gentile church enslaved the Hebrew Israelites by promoting a doctrine of lawlessness. The Roman Gentile church taught the children of Israel that they were free from the law, that they no longer had to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High YAH, all while enslaving them.
Be free. Be the law. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. Be free. Do you be free? Be free, the law. Be free, the law. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. Be free. Be free. No work. Be free. Be free, the law. Be free, the law. And put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. The law. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. Be free. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. Be free. Be free. Big man. Be free. Be free. Be free. Put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. The law. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put these shackles on your hands and your feet and your neck, son. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put them shackles on your hands and your feet and your neck, son. Be free. Be free. Be free. Be free. Then put these shackles on your hands and your feet and your neck, son. Be free. Be free.
The Roman Gentile church taught that the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High YAH were done away with. They also taught that the Hebrew Israelites were done away with, all while actively attempting to do away with the Hebrew Israelites through slavery and persecution. And finally, the Roman Gentile church attempted to change the name of the Messiah, changing it from Yeshua to Jesus or Jesus. Again, this wasn't done by the Jews nor the Greeks in the New Testament. This was done years later under the direction of the Roman Gentile church. And it reads, divine prophecy declares that the Jews shall continue a distinct people scattered among the Gentiles until the conversion of Israel to the Messiah, while they yet shall endure persecution. The Roman Catholics, ignorant of the nature of the Gospels, have endeavored wholly to destroy this people or to compel them to profess the Christian faith. Edicts the most severe and cruel have been published against them from time to time by different popes in France and Spain. They have been oppressed, fined, banished, unless they would turn Christians. Thousands of them in Spain and Portugal have professed the name of Christ to escape punishment, yet in heart remaining Jews, abhorring the idolatry of the papists. The inquisitors proceeded against them, therefore, as heretics and apostates. They are condemned by the inquisitors to endure various punishments, according to the nature or degree of the alleged crimes, as privation of all intercourse with Jews, penalties, public whipping, and burning at the stake.
The nation of the Jews, after the destruction of the city and temple of Jerusalem, were brought into miserable bondage and captivity, and dispersed throughout the whole world. But being impatient of their miseries, they have often taken up arms and endeavored to assert their liberties. But having been subdued by most grievous slaughters, they have at length laid down their fierceness, and are forced to bear the yoke. The Christians, partly through fear of the rage of the Jews, and partly through the intemperate zeal of Christianity, have endeavored either wholly to destroy by various miseries these dispersed people, or to tire them out by the grievous and length of their miseries, and thus to compel them to profess the Christian faith. Upon this account, various edicts have at different times proceeded against the Jews. Some have prescribed them in the countries where they are lived. Others have deprived them of their liberties and reduced them to slavery. Others have stripped them of these advantages and privileges which their other subjects have enjoyed, that by these means they might at length be wholly extinguished or wearied out by the miseries they endured for their Judaism, renounce it and embrace the Christian religion. Very severe edicts have been made against them, especially in Spain, where a very large number of them dwelt, and were thought to endanger the safety of the kingdom. Who exactly were these Jews who were sent into captivity to the four corners of the earth? The scripture specifically tells us it was the children of Judah who would go into slavery. Now, taking a closer look at the circumstances, we see why it had to be the children, as the prophets prophesied. You see, the parents of the children of Judah who refused Roman Christianity, they resisted and were willing to die for the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High YAH. They were willing to destroy their own lives and destroy the lives of their children to prevent them from becoming lawless. And it reads, many parents smothered their children in the last farewell embrace, or threw them into wells and rivers and then killed themselves. I have seen with my own eyes, writes the noble Catalino, how a father, his head covered with pain and grief, accompanied his son to the baptismal font and called on the all-knowing as witness that day. The father and son wished to die together as confessors of the Mosaic faith. I have seen many more terrible things that were done to them. You see, the parents of these Jews were brave and valiant men. They would not make good slaves. However, if the hearts and minds of the parents of Judah could not be turned to be lawless, then the only other logical choice would be to convert the children. To accomplish this evil plan, the Roman Gentile church took all the children of Judah from the age of 25 years and younger to be raised as Roman Christian Gentiles. And it reads, the king had the crime committed on Sunday, the first day of Passover, March 19th. Jews up to the age of 25 years were taken. You see, the Roman Gentile church separated the children from their parents, placed them in the care of Roman Gentile church members called godfathers or godparents,
who taught them the doctrine of Roman Christianity and eventually taught them to be slaves. And it reads, those who remained after the expiration of 8 months were made slaves and sold or given to those of Portuguese nobility who cared to take their pick from them. 1493. King John went still further in his cruel dealings with the unhappy Spanish Jews. The children from 3 to 10 of age, whose parents had become slaves, he ordered to be transported by sea to the newly discovered St. Thomas or Lost Islands, there to be reared in the tenets of Christianity. Now, as these Jews were shipped to the west coast of Africa, it's important to note that these Jews retained their names. For example, the Jews in Spain and Portugal, their names were Isaac, Joseph, David, Judah, and Abraham. And when we take a look at the Transatlantic slave trade database, a database which contains the names of the slaves that were actually on the ships, we find slaves with the names of David, Judah, Abraham, Isaac, and Joseph, matching the names of the Jews in Spain and Portugal. And in addition to these Jews, we also find the names of Israelites in the Transatlantic slave trade database. You see, Israelites have a habit of including the Most High's name, Yah, in their name. And we can find this in the prophets like Isaiah, Obadiah, Zechariah. Each has Yah at the end of their name. And likewise, when we look at the Transatlantic slave trade database, we see many slaves with the name Yah at the end of their name. And likewise, we see slaves with El on the last part of their name. Just like in the Bible where we have Joel, Daniel, Ezekiel, we also find slaves with El on the last part of their names. The children of Judah that were taken to the west coast of Africa and loaded onto the slave ships were reprogrammed by the Roman Gentile church to accept the Roman Gentile version of Christianity, a version in which the Roman Gentiles were the leaders of the church and the children of Israel were done away with, a version in which these children were made slaves of the Roman Gentile church. Slavery, with all its disadvantages, gave the Negro race by way of recompense one great consolation, namely the Christian religion and the hope and belief in a future life. The slave to whom on this side of the grave the door of hope seemed closed learned from Christianity to lift his face from earth to heaven, and that made his burden lighter. In the end, the hope and the aspiration of the race in slavery fixed themselves on the vision of the resurrection with his long white robes and golden slippers.
This hope and this aspiration, which are the theme of so many of the old Negro hymns, found expression in the one institution that slavery permitted to the Negro people, the Negro Church. It was natural and inevitable that the Negro Church, coming into existence as it did under slavery, should be permitted the religious life of the Negro to express itself in ways almost wholly detached from morality. There was little in slavery to encourage the sense of personal responsibility. And it reads, in the Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, and Episcopal churches, the colored people during the service sit in a particular part of the house. Now generally known as the Negro pew, they are not permitted to sit in any other nor hire or purchase pews as other people, nor would they be permitted to sit, even if invited in the pews of white persons. The Roman Gentile church was not only Judah's teachers of Roman Christianity, they were also their slave owners. And it reads, there are in the United States about 2,487,113 slaves and 386,069 free people of color. Of the slaves, 80,000 are members of the Methodist Church, 80,000 of the Baptist Church, and about 40,000 of other churches. These church members have no exemption from being sold by their owners as other slaves are. Instances are not rare, in other words, it's common for slave-holding members of churches selling slaves who are members of the same church with themselves. And members of churches have followed the business of slave auctioneers. In some of the older slave states, as Virginia and South Carolina, churches in their corporate character hold slaves, who are generally hired out for the support of the minister. The following is taken from the Charleston Courier of February 12, 1835, and reads, on Tuesday the 17th instant will be sold at the north of the exchange at 10 o'clock. A prime gang of 10 Negroes, accustomed to the culture of cotton and provisions, belonging to the Independent Church in Christ Church Parish. In the Americas, the Roman Gentile Church attempted to purge any leftover practices of Judaism from its slaves. This was achieved through its American Inquisition offices. We see those who were accused of practicing Judaism or Judaic witchcraft were mostly West African, as the following reference reads. And it reads, a large number of those accused and arrested in the south of the continent arrived from Angola, Guinea, and Sao Tome, where in many cases they had engaged in Jewish practices. Sentences of the Lima court confirm the Mexican trends. Between the foundation of the court in 1569 and 1664, 31 condemnations to the stake were pronounced against living people. 71% were Judaizers. We also note that the Portuguese continued to expel its black Portuguese Jews, or its Negro Portuguese Jews, during the transatlantic slave trade. In the 1500s, they began expelling their black Jews directly to the Americas in great numbers. And it reads,
The Portuguese Jews came to us either directly from the Brazils or through Suriname when possessed by us, or on its final evacuation by us to the Dutch. Soon after the discovery of the Brazils, great numbers of Jews were banished thither from Portugal in 1548. Now, given all this information, you may wonder, why in the world would the Roman Gentile Church purposely persecute and enslave the Hebrew Israelites or the children of Judah so mercilessly? Why would they intentionally, perpetually enslave and persecute the children of Judah? Well, unfortunately, to understand why, we need to take a closer look at Israel's greatest enemy of all time. And that would be Israel's twin brother, Esau, also known as Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, and the daughter of Babylon in the Bible.